There you go. So you've got the Immortals starting up north.
Yep, and look at that. Yeah, the Immortals sticking with what works for them, going with 5 heavy tanks once again, and on AVANT-GARDE side, going with a similar strategy from last set, except they switched out one of their T-69s for a WZ-132.
Yeah, so actually, you know what? I would have given AVANT-GARDE a slight edge had they started up north. Because they're starting down south.
They have more accessibility to the
right,
islands.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm really, now I'm not so sure. I'd give it a 50-50 really. Had AVANT-GARDE starting up north, I would have given them the edge.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, the Immortals actually committing one of their tanks to that western island, whereas the rest of their tanks still kind of back near the base.
Indeed.
They realize that AVANT-GARDE have a lot more mobility, so if they wanted to attempt a hilltop push, they'd be they wouldn't make it there in time.
And player Kitan, he getting some splash damage while he's like hiding behind that rock.
Yeah.
Not too much though. Nothing worry about at this point.
Yeah, and AVANT-GARDE realized that most of the members of the Immortals are back at the base, just trying to snipe out them. And we have a T1 over there, Heinz Linderman, also trying to provide vision. And you know, it's going to be a tough situation for AVANT-GARDE because you know. It's
very hard to overtake this position.
Exactly. I mean, the Immortals, their pushback so far is, you know, that AVANT-GARDE, if they want to, you know, engage them, they got to come out of cover.
And considering the tank selection, that would be suicide.
Exactly.
See, I mean, that's the thing, because the surrounding maneuver I was talking about is possible when you attack from the north.
Yeah.
Actually, if they go for a defensive, because you know what, from the south, you can't go for a defensive setup like that with heavy tanks. You have to go for the hill.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas from the north, you can actually spread out to that western island and to that eastern village as well. So it gives you slightly more options, I want to say. Of course, it all depends on what kind of tanks you select, but just because the Immortals are rolling out with such heavy troops, I think starting off from up north is really helping them out.
It really is, and it's allowing them to play really defensive and not give too much away. I mean, if you start down south, you can also be defensive, but then, you know, too much of the map is open to
exactly, and then you leave yourself to surrounding maneuvers, whereas up north, you can still spread out because of that western island. It really diversify your defense quite a bit. Okay, T1's been taken out on the AVANT-GARDE side.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's really hard to call right now because either team, if they move out, they're gonna get annihilated due to that, you know, the cover advantage and the defending advantage as well. And you know, I wanted to see the Immortals kind of push out more down south. Maybe you know, at least send a couple of tanks, not up the hill, but kind of around the base. But now I think it's just a little bit too late because if they try and push out, AVANT-GARDE is right there to throw some damage
with those MX-50s as well. So. And needless to say, for AVANT-GARDE to push would be complete suicide. I mean, they did get just blown to bits.
Yep. So I'm actually expecting us to sit here for a while until any action happens, because you know, looking at the situation right now, looking at the positions coming out from both teams, really, it's neither team is giving the other team any option to engage.
And look at that blade taking some damage here. That doesn't look too good.
He did kind of retaliate some onto, I believe it is Savange. Yeah, so Savange there taking a little bit of damage as well, and his AMX-50. And these T-69s on AVANT-GARDE, so Freshmeat and Griven here, they're trying to push up, trying to get some pot shots off onto the members of the Immortals, but you know, they just have no vision up there. They're pushed back way too far. And
they lost T1 too.
Yeah, that T1 was actually extremely crucial to provide vision on the members of the Immortals, but since they lost that, it's gonna be a lot harder to get any shots off.
And yeah, the great mobility setup of AVANT-GARDE is completely useless right now.
Yeah, really. I mean, AVANT-GARDE, they have this hilltop, you know, completely secured. It's just, even though you have that hilltop secured,
well, I mean, yeah,
you can't push out.
You can't push out, and you can't even defend it well, considering like the discrepancy when it comes to sheer firepower.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm definitely expecting this to be dragged out just a little bit. We're probably gonna see, you know, maybe a 1 or 2 minute, you know, last minute push, probably gonna come out from AVANT-GARDE. But I mean, on the
like the Immortals like slightly creeping in towards that central hilltop now.
Yeah, but the Immortals looks like they want to try and engage something here quite soon. They have pulled up some of their tanks.
Towards the central hilltop, and you know what? They can afford to do it because in terms of firepower, is once again, it's ridiculous. The difference is just And obviously they're rolling out with their armored tanks out there.
Yep.
So the T-32, and those two IS-3s, which can take so much damage.
Yeah, so you have Fresh Meat spotting down this push. Fresh Meat in his T-69. He might get a couple of pot shots off here onto the Sirius, but he is both. Oh, but nice shot from Sirius.
Huge shot from Sirius.
Yeah, so Fresh Meat just taking a little bit of damage. He should be fine, and both Griffin and Fresh Meat just sitting behind that rock.
Yeah, in terms of positioning though, the Immortals really having the upper hand right now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
they just completely neutralized the, all that speed, all that extra mobility is just availing to nothing right now.
yeah.
I mean, the starting position should have been switched with this kind of setup.
Yeah.
Really, because the Immortals started with 5 heavy tanks, like I think that AVANT-GARDE should have, instead of a WZ-32, probably would have done well with a KV-5, even an IS-3. That's what I believe.
Yeah, quite possibly. And here we have Savant also trying to join
Well, exactly.
in the
He's joining the pack. He's joining the pack, and he's being unchallenged. And eventually, they're going to push out. And look at that.
Wow,
Fresh Meat. Yeah, just down to half his hit points now. And facing 4 heavy tanks that are almost at full health.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't look good. And even Blade,
well.
like, taking more damage too, is just, it's not looking good at all, actually, for AVANT-GARDE.
Yeah, if the Immortals just slowly push this advantage, slowly creep up this hilltop, they're eventually going to take this game.
Yeah, of course, they will.
Yeah, so Fresh Meat, ooh, but a nice block coming out from his IS-3 here, PNL. Yeah, the shot did bounce off his hull. And Blade right there.
And really, like, the Immortals taking no chance whatsoever. You got
Yeah.
a T-32 and those 2 IS-3s like on the front lines. I mean, the 3 tanks, they can take so much punishment, and the MX-50 is just right behind them.
Yeah.
So they're just really not leaving anything to chance, and I really don't see AVANT-GARDE coming back from this, because they're just right now, the Immortals are just waiting for the clock to run out a wee bit more. I mean, like, we're down to 3 minutes, but I think when we're going to get down to a minute and a half or 2 minutes, they're going to push out.
Yeah, just an all-in rush, just try and take out maybe one
and
or two
look
of those
at that,
T8s.
Zenyeldar gets taken down. That doesn't, that's, okay, no, sorry, Heinz.
Spotted.
Yeah,
Get spotted.
yeah, and Heinz gets taken down, so T1 going down on the Immortal side, but look at that, it's just, that's
huge
just
shot,
huge, yeah, a
Fresh Meat.
massive
Oh my
shot,
God.
and
Actually,
they got
one
the
more
high
shot.
ground, they got the bigger guns. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. Ooh, Savant Josh is taking a lot of damage as well.
It's
All
the
the members
MX-50,
of the AVANT-GARDE are here.
It's the
Yeah,
MX-50. Okay, so right now Fresh Meat gets taken down.
Yep.
So T69 down for AVANT-GARDE. As long as the Immortals like protect those MX-50s well, honestly, those IS-3s are not going to go down.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not going to. They're going to.
Look how much damage AVANT-GARDE has taken so
Yeah.
far. Bingo Bongo and
and Driven is
almost getting
just like
taken down.
Driven is a gunner.
Yeah, one more shot. Shot.
Yeah, that's gonna
He's
do it.
lining up.
He's lining up, just waiting for
Oh,
reload, and
yeah,
boom,
there
that
it
does
goes.
it. Yeah, I hate to say it, but that's a GG, folks.
Yeah, so only 2 tier 8s remaining on the AVANT-GARDE side. You're taking a look at them right now. Bingo Bongo and Zenyeldar here. The last stand coming out from AVANT-GARDE, but there's no chance at all.
And look at that, the T-32 is still alive, and
Yeah.
so are those IS-3s. How can you stand up to so much armor and firepower with this kind of setup? It's just not going to work out.
Yeah,
Really.
so here we have PNL coming up from behind, going to finish off Bingo Bongo. 1 more or 2 more shots will finish off Zenyeldar as well.
And well, yeah, it's the classics, the classic surrounding maneuver, and well, bye-bye Zenyeldar.
Yep.
Nice to see you.
It's only 1 T1 now remaining
Yeah,
on
I'm
AVANT-GARDE, but it's completely over. And a great job coming out from the Immortals. Just really, they stayed back at their base, poked down the members of AVANT-GARDE, and then just once they were confident enough, they just pushed in.
Honestly, I know that AVANT-GARDE loves to play with those T-69s and sometimes those light tanks, especially on this map. But once again, I can't say that enough. The starting position should have been reversed for them to actually have a